ADCC is the highest level of no-gi jiu-jitsu. In an effort to upgrade my guard passing abilities, I spent the last 7 days training like the best ADCC level guard passers. And in order to track my progress, at the end of the 7 days, I'll be taking on every belt level at one of the biggest jiu-jitsu gyms in Seattle. The new technique that I'm trying to learn this week is north-south passing. It's a loose style of guard pass that focuses on dominating the far distance by using angles, feints, and timing. There are 5 major missions you need to accomplish to use this effectively. But before I tell you what those missions are, let's see what mistakes I made and how using these missions fixed those mistakes. On day 1, the first thing I realized is that this challenge is going to be tougher than expected. And as much as it sucked to get shut down on almost every attempt, there was a moment here that catapulted my progress. Initially, I was running in circles trying to stop Justin from shrimping away using my hand. However, what I came to learn is that head positioning is way more important. So this brings us to our first mission. So this one sounds pretty straightforward. As I dive in for the pass, my head needs to dive down into my opponent's hips, and after winning this battle, it prevents my opponent from high-legging and allows me to focus on solidifying the pass. I learned this by reviewing some of the day 1 footage, and as you can see, Justin's easily regarding because my head is way too high. I then compared this to Gabriel's match with Mikey, where as you can see, as he dives in, his head dips down into Mikey's hips, allowing him to cut a hard angle and prevent the high leg.
Another good run around here into the top position. I think Sousa, man, it's another close. He's gonna get it. He settles down.
That's a pass.
And that completes the 3rd mission. However, if you notice, there are 2 missions prior to mission 3, and those were discovered on day 2. During this session, I was able to hit a lot more north-south passes using the head position tactic, but it definitely was not as smooth as I'd like it to be. While focusing on that detail allowed me to inch my way closer to perfecting this technique, there are 2 steps that can drastically affect whether the pass works or not, and that brings us to mission 1 and 2. Now if you notice in those clips, I was really forcing the head position, but by using the first 2 missions, I was able to execute the technique a lot smoother. For mission 1, achieving superior angle just means that when I commit to the pass, I want to be in the edge of my opponent's hip line. Diving from here compared to here was much more successful. The second mission is to kill the pommel. What I'm referring to is stopping this outside leg from reweaving into the inside position. This is something that I personally do a lot from guard, and as a passer, I want to eliminate this. If we look at Gabriel and ADCC trials winner Dorian Oliveras, they do this by level changing and applying the head position tactic to beat the leg. However, I picked up a detail that fits more my style from watching Euro trials winner Owen Jones versus Robert Deagle. While Owen didn't finish the pass, when he engages Robert's guard, he keeps a grip on the far leg, and once he achieves the superior angle, he now pushes that leg away, forcing your opponent's head closer to your hip. This not only puts you in a very dangerous position on your opponent, but also stops this leg from re-entering, hence killing the pommel. So now that we've covered the 3 missions that allow you to initiate and attack the pass, the 4th mission focuses on maintaining the north-south position and should act as an anchor for you to start working chest to chest with your opponent. I'll explain mission 4 and 5 during the live rounds, so let's recap what we've talked about already. Mission 1, achieve superior angle on your opponent. Mission 2, kill the pommel. Mission 3, you're a squirrel and it's time to hibernate. Don't question the process, just do the work. Then finally, that brings us to step 4 and step 5. It will also bring us to one of the largest jiu-jitsu gyms in the Seattle area, Combat Arts Academy. And as stated earlier, I'm going to be putting my guard passing to the test, rolling with every belt level from white to black. First up is a grizzly bear level white belt named Adam. Okay, so now if you guys are familiar with this poster, many people would agree with the methods displayed. However, what it doesn't cover is what to do if you're already on your back. So let me break it down for you. Step 1, obviously you have to engage and fight with the bear and make the first move. I'm sure we can all agree that dragons would absolutely rag on a bear, so the Kiss of the Dragon here is the perfect move for this scenario. After utilizing the Kiss of the Dragon, make sure to stand up fast and collect your 2 points, and this will heavily impact the bear's morale. Then the important part, just like we practiced, I start cutting angles to get my passing position. After a few trips around the outside line of the bear, I dive in for my guard pass and solidify 3 more points. So now you're up 5-0, and also make sure to keep in mind that it's winter, so the bear is probably in that hibernating state of mind, so it's probably tired and gassed out at this point. This is the perfect opportunity for you to fall back onto a sneaky inverted triangle, and here as the bear goes to pass my guard, I get my hips out, rock back on my shoulders, and roll right into a triangle choke. Now I'm sure you're wondering, where did those last 2 missions come into play? While I did utilize them to some extent, they were much more prominent in this next round with Jeremy. Jeremy is a really skilled and competitive blue belt, however by using these missions I was able to catch him with a beautiful north-south sequence. To break this down, I'm stepping in and quickly swinging Jeremy's legs to the side to achieve Mission 1, Superior Angle. Mission 2 gets checked off as my right hand develops a grip on Jeremy's near leg, and as he begins to invert, because Mission 1 and 2 are complete, I can easily stuff my face into another grown man's manhood to complete Mission 3. Now moving on to 4. In this sequence I was a little late to the transition of grabbing his head, and this allowed Jeremy to create space and out-angle me. However, by reapplying the previous missions, I was able to move right back onto the attack, cup his head, and dive back in to complete the north-south pass. During a later round, he gets comfortable in the inversion, and with the angle heavily in my favor, I can kill the pommel with a level change and duck into north-south smoothly. For a better look at Mission 4, look at how the head grip is being used to control the north-south position and keeping myself parallel to Jeremy. This will allow me to lower my hips and complete the pass. So next up is a purple belt named Ian. I'm just now realizing he's wearing a bear rash guard, and I've already used one too many bear jokes today, so that's unfortunate. Now of course, in order to get to a passing position, I have to get off my ass and get back on top. And as much as I like being a Beyblade, arm drags from reverse De La Hiva work just as well as the Kiss the Dragon. After getting on top, I throw on a collar tie and then hit a quick ankle pick to get Ian on his back. I then move right into the game plan, winning the angle, but I'm forced to put a knee down as I feel Ian start to turtle. He starts trying to wrestle up on a single leg, so I hop it over his thigh and try to fall onto his back. Everything looks somewhat smooth up until I got into that position and completely butchered that back take, resulting in me falling into a front headlock. From here, Ian moves on to an armbar submission, however by keeping his knees separated, I can dull the threat and this allows me to come back on top. One thing I've learned is north-south passing is a lot easier when you're facing a guard player. Ian definitely prefers to wrestle up, forcing me to engage close instead of staying on the outside. This opens up a different route of attack. While north-south passing offers great options, focusing on the outside of my opponent's guard, the knee slice is better when it comes to that mid-distance range. But notice how I'm combining both of the styles, having good options from the outside of the guard as well as the mid-distance. Now there's one final mission that I want to talk to you guys about today, and I'll be showing you that in our last round. However, before that, we have to face a tough black belt. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to roll with a brown belt that day, so we're going to move right onto the black belt before we get to our final opponent. This is Sergio. Right now, I'm trying to set up a fast-paced tempo to force Sergio into a defensive cycle. As he sits up here, I'm making sure to stay on the outside, putting a lot of pressure on his hip line, forcing him to his back. As his legs extend outward, I use his momentum and swing myself right into the north-south angle. However, it's not going to be that easy, and he turtles to escape the pass. In terms of my goals for north-south passing, I'm completely fine with my opponent turtling and exposing an even more dangerous position of the back. I unfortunately butchered the opportunity as I relieve the pressure and allow Sergio to escape, but I'll still walk away with that as a win for the north-south campaign, and we move on to fight our final opponent of the day. Our last match of the day is Keegan, and although he's a blue belt, by the way he holds himself and how he felt during this role, I can tell you that he could easily be one of the most dangerous guys in the room. So Keegan starts off playing guard. Perfect. This is a great time to start moving side to side and looking to find that angle. I complete mission 1 pretty easily. I get the angle and dive in for the pass. However, notice how mission 2 and 3 are absent from the equation. This allows Keegan's hips to rise, and it'll enable him to get his knees in front of me and retain his guard. I was actually so mad at myself because of that I decided to quit and pull guard. But I realized that I should give myself a second chance, so I looked to sweep Keegan using a Kiss the Dragon. Unfortunately, I decided to sit on my neck instead of standing up, and he's able to get back on top faster than I do. However, I'm able to find my way back on top as he sits back onto my ankle, and I spring up quickly to avoid getting submitted. To be an effective outside passer, you have to learn how to deal with the leg game. It's inevitably going to happen, and you need to find ways to counter and reset yourself. My preferred way is by controlling his hooks and leg pommeling, keeping my base heavy until I can create a strong passing threat, allowing me to disengage. As I back up, I'm immediately going back to side, looking for that angle again. This time as I dive in, I do a good job killing the pommel, but my head again is high, and this allows Keegan to use my momentum, rocking me off balance, and eventually be able to get his legs back in front of him. Keep in mind, while I haven't been hitting the pass perfectly, I have been wearing down Keegan's shield. And thanks to the wear and tear dealt by the previous passes, I finally managed to execute the perfect north-south pass.
Jake Straus ain't Jacob, bitch, but I'm taking it all. Pass your guard, go to north-south, yeah, put your face in my balls. That's my favorite move, ask Alejandro.
And with that, I present to you Mission 5, Shake Some Ass. Once you've completed 4 out of the 5 missions, the final step is to lower your hips and get chest to chest with your opponent. To prevent this, many people frame on your hips, and the way to break through this is by stacking the weight of your hips at an angle against your opponent's frames. Or scientifically speaking, shake some fucking ass. After some time, Keegan manages to shake me off from top, so I fake an ankle lock, and with only 15 seconds left on the clock, I decide to end the day with one of my strongest attacks, the Sunsetter Triangle. But right before I'm about to get the tap, Keegan takes a page out of my book and uses the bell escape to get out of the triangle.
Thank you. That's fine.
And with that, I hope you guys not only enjoyed, but learned something from this video. If you did, help me out by hitting subscribe so I can put out more videos like this one. If you guys have any clips of yourself hitting this pass, make sure to send it on over to my Instagram at Carsahh. I love seeing feedback and results like that, so that'd be really appreciated. Also, let me know what you guys want next. Triangle, Kiss of the Dragon, or the Blast Knee Cut. Let me know in the comments.